Topic 16, Going Public. At the end of this topic, students will be able to identify the advantages and disadvantages of going public, identify the alternatives to going public, discuss the timings of going public and the underwriter selection, explain the registration statement and timetable for going public, discuss the legal issues of going public, and also discuss some important issues for the venture after going public. Going public occurs when the entrepreneur and other equity owners of the venture offer to sell some part of the company to the public through a registration statement filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission, that is the SEC, pursuant to the Securities Act of 1933. The resulting capital infusion to the company from the increased number of stockholders and outstanding shares of stock provide the company with financial resources and a relatively liquid investment vehicle. This is an option of raising capital through equity financing. Any organization that has grown large and is in need of more capital, this is the best way of raising it. This process is tedious and cumbersome and requires many formalities to be fulfilled. In spite of such extensive work, companies go ahead because there are agencies like underwriters and investment bankers who may complete the submission of formalities on behalf of the companies for a fee. The investing public also shows interest as the shares have their own benefits attached, like liquidity due to listing in the stock exchange and receipt of dividend every year. Hence, going public is a beneficial proposition to all concerned. Let us look at the advantages of going public. The first one is obtaining new capital. It provides the needed working capital, plant and equipment or inventories, and supplies necessary for the growth or survival of the venture. Obtaining value and transferability of the organization assets. Many family-owned or privately held businesses may need to go public so that the value of the company can be disseminated among the second and the third generations. Venture capitalists also prefer this system. Then comes enhancing the company's ability to obtain future funds. Money can be borrowed more easily on more favorable terms when there is value attached to a company, and that value is more easily transferred. But the disadvantages are definitely there in going public. They must be carefully weighed against the numerous advantages along. Some entrepreneurs want to keep their companies private even in times of a hot stock market. The reasons are: public exposure and potential loss of control can occur in a publicly traded company. Loss of flexibility and increased administrative burdens. Huge expenses like accounting fee, legal fee, underwriting fee, registration fee, filing fee, printing cost, etc. The process of getting ready to go public is long and time consuming. So these disadvantages should be borne in mind. But definitely there are alternatives for going public. The first one is a private placement. This is through private circulation and less public exposure. Or through debt financing, that is through bank loans. Other debt financing can also be obtained from non-bank lenders such as equipment leasing companies, mortgage bankers, trade suppliers, or inventory and accounts receivable financing companies. Sometimes these sources of capital offer the entrepreneur a greater degree of flexibility than bank loans, although not nearly as much as equity capital. Timing of going public and underwriter selection. It's a very crucial decision. Timing. Am I ready to go public? This is a very critical question to make. The criteria to answer this question is through these issues. How large is the company now? What is the amount of the company's earnings and how strong is its financial position or performance? Are the market conditions favorable for the present public offering? How urgently is the money needed? And what are the needs and desires of the present owner? Underwriter selection is another choice to be made. An entrepreneur must be careful while selecting and managing underwriter who will take the lead in forming the underwriting syndicate. A managing underwriter is a lead financial firm in selling stock to the public. An underwriting syndicate is a group of firms involved in selling stock to the public. An entrepreneur should ideally develop a relationship with several potential managing underwriters and investment bankers at least 1 year prior to going public. The points to be considered here are, since the initial public offering rarely involves a well-known company, the managing underwriter needs a good reputation to develop a strong syndicate team and provide confidence to potential investors. The capability of the underwriter distribution is also to be considered, since the stock is to be spread far and wide. To get good financial advisory services apart from underwriting services, and the previous experience of the investment banker in similar such IPOs or issues. The cost involved in paying underwriter commission. Now comes the registration statement and timetable for going public. Once the managing underwriter has been selected, a planning meeting should be held of the company officials responsible for preparing the registration statement and the company's independent accountants and lawyers and the underwriters. At this meeting, a timetable is prepared indicating the dates of each step in the registration process. After the completion of the preliminary preparation, the first public offering normally requires 6 to 8 weeks to prepare, print and file, and the registration statement with the SEC. Once a registration statement has been filed, the SEC generally takes 4 to 8 weeks to declare the registration effective. Delays frequently occur in this process, such as during the heavy period of market activity, especially during the peak season such as month of March. When the company's attorney is not familiar with the federal or state regulations, or when a complete and full disclosure is resisted by the company, or when the managing underwriter is inexperienced. The SEC will ensure that the registration document makes a full and fair disclosure of the materials reported. Once satisfied with the SEC, it will provide with the effective date, and the underwriters will immediately offer the shares to the public. What are the legal issues of going public? The prospectus. It is a portion of the registration document always written in a highly stylized narrative form, and it is the selling document of the company. While the exact format is decided by the company, the information must be prepared in an organized logical sequence and in an easy to read understandable manner in order to obtain the SEC approval. Part 2. This section of Form S1 contains specific documentation of the issue in an answer format and exhibits such things as the articles of incorporation, the underwriting agreement, company bylaws, stock options, and pension plans and contracts. The other information include identification of directors and officers and any sale of unregistered securities within the past 3 years and expenses related to going public. Form S18, the SEC adopted a simplified form of registration statement for companies planning to register no more than $7.5 million of security as capital to raise. This form was designed to make going public easier and less expensive for having less reporting requirements. Procedure. Once the preliminary prospectus is filed, it can be filed and can be distributed to the underwriting group. This preliminary prospectus is called the red herring because a statement printed in red ink appears on the front cover. The registration statements are then reviewed by the SEC to determine if adequate disclosures have been made. Some deficiencies, if found, are communicated for correction either through telephone or deficiency letter. This preliminary prospectus contains all the information contained in the final prospectus except that which is not known until shortly before the effective date. These items are filed through pricing amendment and appear in the final prospectus. The time, usually around a month between the initial filing of the registration statement and its effective date, is called the waiting period, during which time the underwriting syndicate is formed and briefed and no company publicity can occur. Issues for the venture after going public, that is the aftermath. The aftermarket support, if you look at, these are actions of underwriters to help support the price of stock following the public offering. The price of the stock should be monitored particularly in the initial weeks after its offering and to stabilize the market, preventing the price from going below the initial public offering, and the underwriter will usually enter bids to buy stocks in the early stages after the offering, giving aftermarket support. The relationship with the financial community. An increased portion of the good relationship with the investors and other financial associates will establish significant effect on the market interest and the price of the company's stock. There is also certain reporting requirements. This is after going public. This is actually a negative aspect as there are too many formalities to be adopted. Form SR, it's nothing but a sales report to be filed 10 days after the end of the first 3-month period following the effective date. Form 10K, on business management and company assets, audited financial statements. Form 10Q, quarterly report containing unaudited financial information for the most recently completed fiscal quarter. Form 8K, report within 15 days of such events as acquisitions or disposition of the company's assets outside the ordinary course of business, and any resignation or dismissal of the company's independent public accountants or a change in control of the company. So once this whole process is undergone, the company is in the market with its shares being listed or transferable, and it's more liquid. So that should be the end of our learning for our topic 16, and we should be moving on to the next topic, that is topic 17, and this will explain to us how a venture can end, that is ending the venture. Thank you.